Good morning. In words of David Steindl-Rast, may we grow still enough to hear the small noises earth makes in preparing for the long sleep of winter, so that we ourselves may grow calm and grounded deep within. May we grow still enough to hear the trickling of water seeping into the ground, so that our souls may be softened and healed and guided by its flow. May we grow still enough to hear the splintering of starlight in the winter sky and the roar at Earth's fiery core. May we grow still enough to hear the stir of a single snowflake in the air, so that our inner silence may turn into hushed expectation. Welcome to our gathering, and welcome to this morning. In our final Sunday in our Winter Wisdom series, both the blues and the blessings of this season, we start with a moment of calm and an invitation to connection and to quiet. As we participate today in the gathering, whether we're here in person or whether you join us online, we are welcome. And all of us, as we light this candle, are connected, not just in community and by relationships that we have with one another, but with something far deeper, our connection to this planet, our connection to humanity, our connection to every creature in land, sea, and sky. And so it is in that spirit that we light our candle in the center, the candle that is kindled representing the fire that never dies within us, that reminds us what lies within us and just outside of us. When we're together, whether we're in person or through a screen, we are community. Let's rest in who we are together and open ourselves to this moment. And may this candle remind us that we're not alone in the journey, that we have each other, that we have resources deep within us and within community and within our deepest humanity. So together we are here for each other. Just a word for those joining us at home as well this morning. There will be a time of sharing later on where we can share some of our winter wisdom. If we want to share any of that this morning. We've had lots of winter wisdom from various sources over the last couple of weeks, but it's your turn. So we have a few people that have submitted things in writing. We'll share some of those, and of course, if you've got something to share that you've thought about or that just spur of the moment this morning, we'll have some time to do that later. And so for those at home, you can text your responses this morning to the number that you see on the screen. Chell has a land acknowledgement for us. Thank you, Chell.
When we gather, we take time to acknowledge the land. There are many people in power right now who see this land and all land as a source only of short-term profit. When we take the time to acknowledge the land at our gatherings, we reject this viewpoint. We say that the earth and its ecosystems are more important than any company's bottom line. And we acknowledge that the peoples who were here first, people such as the Nahio, the Dene Sulene, the Nakota Sioux, the Anishinaabe, the Niitsitapi, and the Métis, had and still have maintained sustainable ways of interacting with the land. We acknowledge that environmental action and human development are not opposing forces, but can coexist. and have coexisted. As settlers on this land, we acknowledge the importance of following Indigenous leadership in our approach to conserving the environment, and that environmental justice must be linked to decolonization. We at SSUC affirm our commitment to the work of reconciliation and honoring the land and the peoples who have cared for and cultivated it for thousands of years.
It is a time for all ages. Yes, please. Welcome anyone to the carpet that wants to come up close. And welcome to all of you in your seats when you're listening and participating from there. Hello, hi, come on in. Today we opened our time today with a little time of quiet. We thought about the quiet, and we thought about being still. And winter is kind of like that, has kind of a quiet something about it. And I thought I would share with you a book called 10 Ways to Hear Snow. So more ways to listen. It's written by Kathy Camper and illustrated by Kennard Pack. When Lena woke up, everything was quiet. Ho, ho, ho. But today was Grape Leaf Day. I wonder what that is. When Lena would help her grandma make warak anab. Siti was losing her eyesight, and Lena loved helping her cook. Yes. I want to tell Siti about the snowstorm and make sure she's okay. The snow's so deep, Lena's mom said. We could go with you, Lena's dad offered, but Lena wanted to go to Siti's by herself. Stay warm, Habiti, her dad told her. Lena bundled up. Outside, the sun on the snow was as bright white as a light bulb. Have you ever seen the snow when it's so bright outside? The sun is shining on the white snow. So bright. Lena squinched her eyes and pulled her scarf over her nose. She could barely see. I wonder if this is how Siti feels, Lena thought. The world sounded softer, but the noises she heard were clearer. Scrape, scrip, scrape, scrip. What was that? It was Mrs. Watson's shovel digging out the sidewalk. That's one way to hear snow, Lena thought. And then she walked down the street. Snack, snack, snack. The noise was low to the ground. What was that? Oh, it was the treads of Lena's boots crunching snow into tiny waffles. 2 ways to hear snow. Don't you love seeing the mark that your boots make and how they're different than other people's marks their boots make? Kind of like that. But this is about the sound. Snap, snap. Lena ducked under a pine tree. Plumph! A powdery sound. A blue jay on a branch had knocked down snow. 3 ways to hear snow, Lena counted. She listened for more. Swish, wish, swish, wish. What was that soft, whiskery noise? People were sweeping snow off their cars. Their brushes made the 4th way to hear snow. Lena cut across the park. Scritch, scratch, scritch, scratch. Another snow noise? Lena saw long, skinny tracks by her boots. Ahead of her, people were skiing. Their skis made the 5th way to hear noise. Rashid and Miriam were building a snowman. Pat, pat, pat. What was that? It was Mittens smoothing the snowman's head. The gentle sound made the 6th way to hear snow. As Lena walked away, her friends whispered and laughed. Thwomp! Oh no! Lena ran away fast from the 7th way to hear snow. See what's happening? Her friends are... Yeah, her friends are throwing a snowball at her. That's why she's running. Lena reached Siti's building, all out of breath, her boots covered with white powder. Stomp, 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 Lena giggled. She was making the 8th way to hear snow, getting all that snow off her boots. Hello, Lena, the lady in the lobby said. Go on in. She pointed toward Lena's grandma's room. Yeah, I think so. Lena tapped on the door. Surprise, Siti, it's me. I came to make grape leaves with you. Lena threw her coat and mittens on the radiator to dry. Wonderful. The lamb and rice are ready. Yalla, I can't wait, Lena shouted. Let's get started. Lena rinsed the grape leaves and placed them on towels. Put some filling in the center, roll them up, and put them in the pot, Siti instructed. Look, there's even some pictures of how you fold up the grape leaves. They're like little grape leaf cocoons, Lena said, looking at them, piled on the plate. Or lots of little sleeping bags, Siti replied. Mine looks like a mustache, Lena held her stuffed grape leaf under her nose. Siti held her under her nose, too. That's good, she wrinkled up her face and said, we look like a couple real tough guys in tough guy voice. Siti, did you know we had a blizzard last night? Of course I did. Lena was surprised. How could her grandma know when she couldn't see very well? Then she heard a noise. Drip, drip went the mittens. It was the sound of snow melting. 9 ways to hear snow. Suddenly, Lena understood how Siti knew. Siti, did you hear the snow? Siti smiled. Each morning I open the window and listen. Today, everything sounded hushed and soft. No noise is the sound that means it's snowing. Siti, I listened too. I heard snow 9 different ways. Shovels were 1, boots were 2, the Blue Jays was 3. Slow down, child. I want to hear them all. But right now, shh. City went to the window and opened it again. Listen, she said. Outside, the late blue afternoon was completely still. Quiet is the 10th way to hear snow. That's the end. And then there's this little part at the very end that's not really part of the story, but it is something that the author wants us to remember. When the world grows quiet, we learn to listen. It's hard to listen when it's loud. It really is. No, that wasn't a comment about what's happening here. When it's quiet, we really use our ears and listen really well. And snow helps us. You're good. Snow helps us because the world gets a little quieter and we learn to listen. So I don't know if we'll have more snow this year. What do you think? Yes is the answer. So next time it snows, we're going to listen. See if we can hear 10 ways to hear it. It's our challenge. Thanks for coming and sharing a story. How about some kid spirit or some youth space or some sitting down or some playing in the playroom or visiting the activity tables? There's so much to do. I invite you to do it all.
I gotta go fast.
Go fast. You're welcome. Just a few words of invitation and recognizing all that we're doing in the life and work of this community. Just a tiny little report to say that 16 of us met online over the weekend for our online winter retreat focused on the topic of expansive prayer in an expansive spirituality, and it was a lovely time. And if you have questions about that, talk to me. I'll point you in the direction of those who attended, and we'll do it again sometime. And speaking of learning opportunities, Wednesday evening book study coming up starting on March the 12th. You can read about that in your messenger or here on the screen, and there is also a write-up and a sign-up on the foyer table. You can sign up there, or you can sign up by emailing the office, and we'll make sure that we connect before the 12th. Don't get a chance to do this every week, but when we do, it's so important to say a thank you to all those who support the work and the life of SSUC, this community. Whether you do it automatically from your bank account and you barely notice, or whether you write out a check or put money in that box or e-transfer. However you do it, thank you for all the ways you support us. We couldn't do what we do. We couldn't have this building open and be a place for the community to use throughout the week if it weren't for your support. So thank you. Thanks for all that you do. Are there any other things that need to be highlighted this morning? No, I won't wait long for that answer.
I was a little slow to the draw. There's two things that I should remind people about. Is next Sunday, March the 9th, for the pre-AGM discussion. We will meet here after the service. And then the following Sunday is the AGM. And there is a note in the messenger that Ainsley put in regards to what people are supposed to bring, depending on how your name starts, or your last name starts, the alphabet. I don't remember those off the top of my head, but hey, they're in the messenger.
So, like I said earlier, a time for sharing the wisdom that you bring into this season and out of this season. A time for sharing some of the things that have been submitted to us, and a time for you to share perhaps something that you have learned about winter, have taken from winter. Just a reminder, some of the questions that we had asked over the course of the series, which may or may not be what you want to share, but again, what is your winter wisdom? How do you cope with the winter blues? What do you see as winter blessings? So this is a time for us to share. Each person might share briefly what they have shared, and then we'll intersperse that with things that have been submitted to us. And just a reminder that if you're at home, darn it, if you're at home, you can share by texting that number. Thank you so much. If you're able, come forward, because then folks at home will be able to see your beautiful faces. Thank you.
Well, one thing that comes to my mind about winter is to slow down, and particularly about walking, which is something I pay a lot of attention to these last 2 years because I was having some issue with my foot. So to me, it's slowing down. So now I'm taking very careful, slow down, really look at the ground. And when I walk, I already feel heel, toe, and fortunately, I haven't had a fall. So slow down in your walking and pay attention to your feet and enjoy walking even in the winter.
As someone who really enjoys winter, I love how dark it gets. I love how it's just cold and dark all the time. But I've realized that most people don't like that. But I notice the whole time as it's getting darker, part of my brain keeps going, it won't last. Give it until February. It'll be bright all day again. And I've realized that what I put out of my mind to go, okay, stop thinking about that, okay, you can sleep right now, is comforting to a lot of people. So I tell people that when people are, it's still dragging out the winter. I'm like, well, it won't be long now.
I invite you to look at winter through the eyes of a child. Sam and I are very fortunate to have a almost 2.5-year-old to take by the hand and take outside. You can show them real snowflakes, what they really look like on the car. You can show them frost patterns, snow angels. It's basically unlimited, and their eyes see it in such a refreshing way. It's delight, total delight, to have snowfall on their face. Anyway, that's mine.
Good morning. I'm Irish. I have been in Canada for over 60 years now, and I still love winter. It's just a beautiful time of year. Everything has slowed down a bit, especially when you're in a wheelchair and people don't shuffle their sidewalks. For 3 weeks, I was stuck. I fell twice because the sidewalk was not shuffled. The problem is, if the little wheels in the front of the wheelchair get hold of, when the snow gets hold of those little wheels, you had full speed you have into the snow with your head first. It's kind of cold. Fortunately, the snow is not hard. And I still love winter. It's a beautiful season. Every once in a while, it gets cleaned with fresh snow. Thank you.
A couple submissions that have come in over the course of the last couple of weeks. This one from Margaret. This is the last line of Percy B. Shelley's poem, Ode to the West Wind, which has stayed with me since before I can remember. If winter come, can spring be far behind? So simple, but so uplifting for all the wintry times of life. This one from David. He provides a quote from Albert Camus. In the depth of winter, I finally learned that within me lay an invincible summer. And how about one from Gilda? Winter is not my favorite season. Gilda, you could say this yourself, I suppose. I began to realize that if we didn't endure winter, the other side of the planet would not have spring and summer. So we have to take our turn. However, the created order of the earth and the universe are so awesome in that these energies all work together. There are microbes, bacteria, and viruses 2,000 feet under the snow, all part of the energy and web of life, and we have life because everything else does. This is awesome to me. Thanks, Gilda. Amazing. She still hates winter. Others?
A long, long time ago, Joy and I spent 2 years in Guyana. That's on the north coast of South America, about 5 degrees north of the equator. We had beautiful weather every day. You'd wake up, ho hum, another nice day. It wasn't until we came back to Canada and realized how critical the changing seasons is for us. I just love to see the leaves turn yellow and the snow come and then the green come back up again. In Guyana, it was green, green, green.
I'll get back to you, Gilda. I have one more to share from Gail. Gail has juxtaposed then and now. Then, she writes, skating, gliding freely across the surface, grateful for ice, warm clothes, hot chocolate. Curling, aiming, sliding, sweeping, the thrill of competition, the warmth of friends working together. And cross-country skiing, fresh snow, open space, rhythmic motion, grateful for health, life, nature. And then she writes, now, to be content with the memory of these things.
We've just had one come in by text from Catherine. Of course, quite relevant, actually. Winter brings snow, snow brings ice, and ice brings hockey.
This one's from Stanley, who's in the room. Welcome, Stanley. Stanley writes, as Dene wisdom, we always reflect on spirituality and healing during cold winter, followed by feasting, elders to honor their teachings, etc., with the community members. Thanks for that wisdom, Stanley. Appreciate that. And here's from Dara. Are our parking lots taken over by ugly layers of dirt, rocks, and snow piled on each other until they loom over us menacingly? Or are they blessing us with a space for us to reconnect with childhood joy? A kingdom for us to conquer and rule, a mountain for our inner mountain goat to explore. I like that these mounds make less space for cars and more space for imagination. Oh, shoot. It said anonymous, please. You didn't hear that? You didn't hear? Oh, I really screwed that one up. Well, now we know, write that first. Don't write that last. No one will trust me ever again. Wisdom comes in many forms, not only in words, sometimes in pictures and stories and music. And so a submission that we've had from Ken, who many of you may or may not know, but know him through his work as our librarian. What you might not know is Ken has, for his whole life long, been an extremely gifted and talented amateur photographer. So here are some photographs and some music from Ken.
Winter is a good time to catch up on reading, and I got a book for Christmas called A Well-Trained Wife, My Escape from Christian Patriarchy. It was the hardest book to read. This is about a Baptist community in southern Florida, Lennoxville area. This poor woman, this was a memoir, she married an abusive man, and in this so-called Christian group, women study how to submit to men. They have to learn what to do with their hands, how to cross their legs, how to laugh. There's no birth control. If you're pregnant, your baby's delivered by a midwife and you've got homeopathic remedies. Well, to me, this is erasure of personhood. I don't think there's anything Christian about that, because we're meant to come into life and become. And I think women, as bearers of life, they've got a lot to offer. And I remember that the university sent around a message asking us what we got from our university education. I said it saved me from marriage in a rural community and turning into an absolute basket case. So winter is a good time for thinking some of these things over.
Wisdom comes in many forms. Thanks for the reminder. Whether we're at a place in this season of slowing down or a place of action and movement to stay warm, we are learning, all of us day by day, that we are better off when we are caring for ourselves. Listening to ourselves and giving ourselves time and space for what we need. I think no season does this better than winter. If we're tired and we're busy, winter gives us the perfect reason to slow down and rest. We all respond differently, uniquely, and beautifully to winter, and you've shown that in your responses and all that you've shared, and thank you for the witness and illustration of that stunning truth. We receive these as testaments to how we each uniquely care for ourselves, whether it's through winter blues or through the beauty and wonder for this season and those who love it. There are themes within our spiritual tradition that reflect on this idea. I want to share just two of them. From the wisdom of Proverbs, we get this little nugget. To grow wise is to love oneself. The one who cherishes understanding will find good life. To grow wise is to love oneself. These are these are messages for every season, but I think we're all on some kind of journey or another to figuring out just how to do that. We've got a lot of self-talk in our heads that is not loving ourselves. And I think as we grow day by day, we want to learn to tame those voices, to place them in their proper context, and to say, you know what, today's a day for loving messages, for self-love, for care about myself, for rest, for quieting our inner critics. Here's another piece from the letter to the Corinthians in the Christian writings. Realize that you yourselves are the temple of the holy, and wisdom dwells in you. This temple is sacred, and you, remember, are the temple. Caring for ourselves is part of the spiritual journey. To love oneself is to be wise. To see our own selves, our own bodies, our own beings as a temple within which sacredness dwells. May we all know that wisdom today. That our care for ourselves is a spiritual act. We don't need this practice or that. We can start with caring for the temple. It's an act of devotion. It's an act of faith, an act of hope, and an act of love. So whatever way you're responding to winter, with joy, with grumpiness, with action or hibernation, with patience or irritation, may it be with love and care for yourself, first and foremost. Be kind, give yourself gentleness and love. Nurturing your own temples will bring with it wisdom to get us through March, April, May, however long it lasts. But really, to get us through whatever comes next. May it be so for you. We are beautiful, amazing, sacred temples, each and every one of us. Let's live it.
In a time full of war be peace. In a time full of doubt believe. No, there ain't much difference between you and me. In a time full of war, make peace. In a world full of hate, be a light. When we do somebody wrong, make it right. Can't hide in the dark, we were born to shine. In a world and strive make a difference.
In a time full of noise, seek out calm.
'Cause our life is but a moment to and from. In a world that needs to change, we can help to rearrange. In a world needing hope, shine a light. When we do somebody wrong, make it right. Don't hide in the dark, we were born to shine. In a world full of hate, be alive.
Don't hide in the dark.
In a race we can't win, slow down.
We only get one go around.
In a race we can't win, slow down.
In a race we can't win.
Slow down. In a world lost in greed, be just. When we have been wrong, let them rebuild trust. Don't hide in the dark, we were born to shine. In a world full of need, be alive.
It is hard to live
It's hard to live
when you
in
don't
gold.
see black and white.
In a place where you are, be alive.
Now I invite everyone to join in strengthening our intentions. As winter's grip holds longer and tighter than we want, there is work afoot. What wonder lies beneath the hard, crusty snow and icy pools? Deep asleep and under the covers, the fruits of the garden and the strength of the forests rest and gather strength. Our hearts, too, need rest from the excesses of our busy seasons, from our actions, accomplished or not, and from the parts we play in the systems and cycles of living. Oh, what do we owe the wisdom of those places within us where patient joy pours over us like a melting spring river, even when we're so easily distracted from beauty by stark routine. May we stay attentive to the moments of bliss that lie before us. We will be refreshed by this season of waiting, energized by our patient and hidden growth.
Light changes, and so do we. And so in this season of winter, in the wisdom we share with each other and we take from this place. May it go with us into our day, into our week, into our season. May we go with peace and love.